Okay, welcome to the Garage Riot Peach State PCA Sim Racing League on iRacing. You join us for round 3 at VIR. This is November 4th. Sorry, November 17th. We have a packed field. William Yu is on pole. Kenny Brown is in second. We have Jim Craig in third. Myself, Andrew Elsom in fourth. Ron Seaman, it looks like, in fifth. And Cliff Kerr in sixth on the grid. So let's get rolling. We're down to the first turn. Super tight. Side by side. My goal at this point is just to try and keep up with people. So Ron's already taken a run off. That's Cliff through into fifth. William's doing a great job holding on to first. Kenny's very tight behind with Jim and myself nose to tail. This is a tough track, just one that doesn't gel well with me, so all I'm looking for is really just to finish. Try and hold on to some points. So Kenny goes wide. That allows Jim through. So I'm up into third now. At this point it just looks like staying on the track is going to be enough to get a decent result. So now Kenny's falling into the clutches of Cliff. This is one of Cliff's first times at VIR in the RSR, so he's pretty much in the same boat as me. He's just looking to finish. So much going on that iRacing doesn't know where to focus. I mean, most of us have made it through the first lap. Kenny was the only person really to suffer. I'm still looking for an opportunity to get past Jim, but he's pulling away a bit, so that's probably not about to happen. Cliff getting a little bit sideways there. This first complex of corners is so tricky. Just so many awkward angles, and then you get onto the S's and it's just flat out, take as much curb as you can. Straight up into 6th gear. So I got my car trimmed for reasonable downforce, actually. So down the straights it's not that quick, but it's kind of stable in the corners, so that's helping me a bit. First time tuning the diff as well, so that's helping me with a little bit of turn. And Jim runs wide, that lets me through. He's well off there, but able to join safely. It looks like Kenny took a trip across the grass as well. So somehow I'm in second, but Jim's not far behind in third, and Cliff is in fourth. And it looks like Kenny is now in fifth after that off. But this is a tricky track and we're on lap 3, so there's a long way to go. An average lap time just under 2 minutes. We're probably looking in the region of 15 to 17 laps. So I'm just trying to find some grip, trying to stay on the track and not mess up my braking points. Let's see how long that lasts. The end of the straight is the bit that I find the hardest. Basically in 6th gear, trying to brake down to 3rd, and then down to 2nd, I think, for a tight right-hander. It's basically blind on entry. If you wait till you see it, you generally run wide and end up going down through the grass. So let's see if I can make it. Oh, and Cliff goes around. Whoa. Kenny does a great job to avoid that. So difficult when a car spins in front of you to know which way to go. And that probably threw Kenny off a little bit, which is why he ran wide at the last corner. In the meantime, William is just running away up front. 1:46.2 his last lap, compared to the rest of us doing sort of 1:48s, 1:49s. Apparently there was a setup that was shared by YouTube, I think, that a few of the guys are using. That seems to be working out well for them. I'm using a modification of the baseline setup, so it's probably not quite as good. Certainly not getting anywhere near as for the times that these guys are doing. But maybe a big part of that may be just me. You can see the lead that Williams got already. He gets a great run out the last corner onto start finish straight, which isn't actually straight. There's a large kink in it. Fortunately at this track there's a lot of runoff. But that can also be deceptive. It makes you feel like you've got a lot more track than you really have. So the corners tend to come up and surprise you a little bit. There's a 1:45.8 on his last lap. I don't think anyone else is even close to that. In the background we've got Jim, so he's made it up from, I think he started fourth, I think? Third? He's now up to second. Somehow I'm still running third. Oh, Jonathan Shum. Yes, Jonathan joined us last season, and we're very glad to have him back with us today. It looked like Cliff's taking another excursion off track. Yeah, that turn can really surprise you as you come over the hill. It's a lot tighter than you think. You kind of get used to things flowing a bit, and then suddenly it's not. William has this in the bag for sure. He's now in a position where he's got enough of a lead to be able to make a mistake and still carry on and keep his position. And I'm off. Which lets Kenny through. Kenny definitely has the legs on me, so this shouldn't be tricky. He's going to pull away pretty easily. I think this is the start of me making a lot of mistakes as well. One of those things that can start to occur is you just start to make mistake after mistake. You're in the wrong position for a corner, you run a little bit wide, you're in the wrong position for the next corner, then you start trying too hard, and one thing leads to another. It's turning out to be a fun track. Williams got the race pretty much sewn up, and it's not super close, but it's actually a fun track. The more laps you turn, the more familiar you get with the corners, the more you're able to actually enjoy just racing here. But it does take a lot of concentration. That run off the oak tree is really difficult. You almost have to drop down to first to get good traction out that corner. But you don't really want to be going that slowly. It's kind of tricky. I think we lost Cliff. Jim's doing a great job keeping within sight of William. But that's still a 10 to 12 second gap. That's going to be difficult to close down. William's not making any mistakes, keeping it on the track. Turning in excellent lap times. The last lap was a 1:46.299. It's a great view of the top three. William, Jim and Kenny. Jim using the Red Bull livery, courtesy of Trading Paints. So don't forget, if you want to sign up for the Garage Right Peach State PCA Sim Racing League, you can go to members.iracing.com and search for Garage Right. You can find more information on garageright.com and also on peachstatepca.org. You can also find us on Facebook. We have a Garage Right PCA Sim Racing Facebook group. And obviously on YouTube we have a number of videos from our iRacing and Project Cars 2 races. Just a few laps left. Kenny's last lap was a 1:44.6, which is insane. That's almost qualifying speeds. So the fuel's definitely burning down, but he's not killed his tyres in the process. So will he be able to do anything about Jim? Another 1:44.618. And that's key in a race like this, it's consistency. If you can string together a number of laps within the same sort of tenth of a second, then you can start building on setup, you can start building on your approach to corners, your braking point, and all of the things that will make you quicker. It looks like he's closing down on Jim. So Jim is on a 1:45.2. So it looks like Kenny's definitely closing down on him. There's maybe only 5 or 6 laps left. He's not far behind. So Jim's last lap was 1:44.7. So he's right up there with Ken. Looks like he might finish in this order. Although Ken did a 1:44.0 last time round. And James did a 1:45.1, so that's a lot of ground to close down. Take over a second out of somebody in a single lap. Looks like Kenny ran a little bit wide there. And Jim's off. Also coming up to traffic, so that's going to help Kenny catch Jim up. He's super close now. Could be possible. Jonathan's ahead. And it looks like Jim's going to catch Jonathan right at the worst possible moment. Maybe. They may get through the last complex onto the start-finish straight cleanly, which will give Jim an opportunity to get past, hopefully. We'll see if Jonathan's seen Jim arriving behind him. can see Ken catching up into the first corner. So what's going to happen? The Jim's right behind Jonathan now. Ken's caught him up. Jim's being held up a little bit. Oh, and he rear ends Jonathan. It looks like, oh, and Kenny's gone around as well. And slight touch there, but so it looks like Jonathan probably slowed down a little bit, hoping to let Jim past, and Jim wasn't expecting it. It can be difficult going through some of these corners when there's such a big speed differential. Quite often the difference in times comes from the ability to get through the corners cleanly, and so therefore when you catch somebody who's slower in a corner, they're likely to brake in places you don't expect them to, or to be not carrying as much speed through the corners as you might like them to. So unfortunately it looks like Kenny's going to be stuck with third. And we're not going to get that battle for second that we may have got as they approach the first and second corners. Williams still steaming away out in front, although his last lap was a 1:45.5, which is relatively slow. Maybe there's some traffic involved with that. So our next race after VIR is Barber Motorsports Park. We selected Barber basically because, and VIR, because it's tracks that Peach Day PCA members have travelled to drive in real life as part of the PCA DE program. It's one of the reasons we also run Road Atlanta occasionally, so that's our home track. So Barber should be an interesting race. Again in the RSR. I know the guys are already practicing, so that's going to be pretty impressive. And we'll try and bring that to you as highlights, and also most likely as a live stream in the next coming weeks. So I think that's December 1st. Will be Barber. For lap 18, that last one was a 1:46.283. This should be William coming around to win. Just a superb performance from Pole, taking it all the way to the checkered flag. And the race is over. So we have William in first, Jim in second, Kenny third, myself in fourth somehow, and then Jonathan and Cliff bringing up the rear. So once again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed and come and join us soon.